What's up, guys? Welcome back. This is episode 1. Let's talk about it with our guests, Brian Kidd. So if you don't know, my name is Robert. This is Big Ed.
What's up, world?
And David.
What it do?
Nice beard, right?
Yeah.
Nice beard. So we want to talk about a couple of subjects, but we want to talk about you right now.
Oh, okay.
So what do you have going for 2019?
2019, one of the biggest things I am looking forward to is the merch we will be dropping as a collabo with Culture Is Deep. I'm very excited about that. On top of that, I have a few singles lined up for this beginning of the year. And we have a video that we're dropping with my boy Roland. And shout out my boy at Magic713. Boom, big facts coming, big things coming, trying to make sure we take the world by storm. Each day, every moment, trying to stay as positive as possible. Yeah.
Y'all on there too, you know what I'm saying? So hit us up on here.
Real deal.
What you call it? So your first single, at least we know, was Faded.
Yeah, so I will definitely say Faded was the very first single.
Yeah.
I had dropped songs and mixtapes prior to that, Fly Kicks and Doobies. I had also dropped Good Intentions, Bad Motives, which actually did pretty good. But, you know, Faded was the first single I had dropped that gave me a lot of feedback from people, that let people know, hey, he's serious about what it is that he's doing.
And I know you don't know more, you're a health freak now. But y'all haven't seen his IG, he's a health freak, he's in the gym every day.
Every day.
But when you wrote Faded, what was Faded like? Why, like, what did the song like mean to you?
Oh man, at that point in time in my life, that was pre-junior. You know what I'm saying? We were running sneaker stores, in and out, partying every night, and just living our best life before even that was a motto. So when I wrote Faded, I was very much so faded, legit. Legit. I came across the beat from a producer called The Real Joe. He doesn't go by that anymore, but at the moment his name was The Real Joe. And when I came across it, I literally was twisting a blunt and I already had sipped on some Crown. So by the time the beat hit me, it was just magic. It spoke to me. So at that point, I stopped doing everything. Whenever I write a song, I go through a method. I go take a shit. It's real deal. I go take a shit. I sit down, I put in my earbuds or I put on my studio headphones and I close off the world, because if I'm distracted, I'm not going to be able to accomplish it. My nickname is Squirrel for a reason.
And then your second one you dropped was Lurkin.
Yeah.
So what was the meaning behind Lurkin?
Now, Lurkin definitely was something that was a reinvention of Brian Kidd. Faded and Lurkin actually were made a couple years apart from each other. You know, I reintroduced Faded to the world because I can now put it on iTunes. Back then, being on iTunes wasn't as accessible as it is now. Mm-hmm. So for any artist that wants to drop music, there's no excuse between SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, Tidal, the works. There's no reason why you can't get your music to the people. But by the time I came across Lurkin, and I was produced by my boy Alchemy, at Alchemy on the Beat, what up though? That was something that very much so spoke to me, because at this point in time in my life, there's a lot of people that are always watching what I'm doing, and it might not be always in a positive note. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's on a positive, sometimes it's on a negative, but they're lurking. They're watching through my stories, they're watching through my pictures, and now that my profile is on a business, I can see how things react. So now I'm seeing how people are watching my page, even if they're not liking pictures. Mm-hmm. So it lets me know people are watching what I'm doing, but doesn't necessarily mean they always want to support it. And you have the haters that talk down, but it's okay, we still smiling at adversity.
I would say if they hating, you doing something right.
Yeah. And actually, I have a new motto in life. I'm telling y'all this: 3 haters a day. If I can't get 3 haters a day, I'm doing something wrong. Straight like that. Straight like that.
Shoot, I mean, I think everybody gets more than 3, but
Yeah. But if I can't get 3 haters a day,
It's a start. Okay.
Like when I heard Lurkin, you were talking your shit.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what popped that off, but you was really talking your shit.
I appreciate that, man. I was definitely feeling myself. I had, like I said, it was a reinvention from me taking my health serious. Culture Is Deep being something that was a main focus for what it is that I had going on in my life. If I was gonna be doing me justice, I have to do culture justice. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm intertwined with all that. So I had to make sure if I'm gonna drop a single, if I'm gonna drop a track, I gotta make sure that I do the brand some justice. You feel me?
Shit.
Because if not, you know, I want people to know, oh, yo, Brian Kidd, he loves culture. But if I drop something that was gonna be made by a weenie, then it was gonna make the brand look like a weenie. I can't have that. I can't have that, man.
Nah, I got you.
K-I-D till I D-I-E, you feel me? Like, yeah. Straight up.
And if y'all want some merch, cultureisdeep.com, go on
Yes.
there. Right now, there's $10 t-shirts.
Man.
You get 2, you get a free mask. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh, yes.
Real deal.
mask is dope. So check that out. So when's the next single we're gonna hear? When is that coming out?
I'd say
That's when everybody.
everybody's looking for it. I'd say this. Let's look at the calendar. We'll give you big facts. So today is the 1st.
So tomorrow.
You know what? I'll put it like this. I'll drop 2 singles by tomorrow on my SoundCloud.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
Okay. SoundCloud.
I'll drop 2 on my SoundCloud by tomorrow.
Alright. Can we know the name of them?
Oh no, let it be a surprise. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. One's gonna be track 1, the other's track 2. Untitled.
All that.
I can't. I'm looking forward because you gave us a sneak peek last night.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if that's gonna be the one dropping.
I wish.
Those,
I wish. That
was
one's gonna have the video file.
that was like one of those like.
Them head turners. Yeah.
It was one of those.
The style that you went with that little sneak peek you gave us last night.
Oh,
I was actually very surprised because it's a whole different style that you're doing, and people are gonna see that. They're gonna see the new, like you said, the new improved Brian.
Definitely.
With the Lurkin, and then that sneak peek.
For Method, by the way, it's called Method. Just so y'all know, be on the lookout for Method. When it drops, it's gonna blow your mind for real. I appreciate that, man. That's exactly what I wanted to go through. Right now in hip hop, so many artists, when they're making songs, each and every one of their songs sounds like the last one. Each and every one of their verses sounds like the last one, and they start to become predictable. So those songs, they pop off for a good while, and that artist might be popping for 6 months. They might be popping for 8 months to a year, but then that next year, where are they at? The year after that, where are they at? You still might be able to download their music. They'll still make music, but are they hitting billboards? No. Are they on the blogs? No, and I don't want to fall into that. I'm too old for all that. You know what I'm saying?
No, this is a question I feel like every artist hates when they hear it, but I feel like they want to explain it. But what's your flow? How do you feel like you sound like, or where's your influences coming from? I say put it
know what? I like when you did
influences.
that because a lot of people don't mention it
Yeah.
that way. Influences, some of my biggest influences that made me pick up a mic in the first place, made me pick up a pen and paper. 2 of my favorites are Busta Rhymes and Twista. They were heavy on rotation for me growing up, especially because I lived in New York before I got to a lot of other places. You know what I'm saying? And living in New York at the time span in the 90s when I was out there, that was when Bus had finally broke free of the group and he was doing the solo shit.
Yeah.
And he came through like a lion. I was like, yo!
I'm not gonna lie, if y'all would have met me in the 90s, yeah, I was listening to NSYNC.
No, I'm not like, yo!
I was living in Germany, so hip hop wasn't like that big on that side
right.
of the world. Yeah.
I'm not gonna downplay. I was jamming NSYNC too. That's why I'm still a Justin Timberlake fan to this day.
Yeah.
To this
I got
day.
y'all one better.
What's
I was
up?
jamming to Eric Carter, bro.
Aaron-
Fuck with me.
Hey, Aaron Carter. Hey, look, I had 2 little sisters. I was even rocking the Spice Girls, bro.
No, Spice
yo.
Girls, but they were fine. So I mean, I was cool with that. Like, oh, so yeah, Spice Girls. 2 of my other biggest inspirations, I'd have to say, were Nas, Jay-Z.
You had a
And then-
disappointing album, Nas. I'm not gonna lie. It
Yeah.
wasn't bad, but it was disappointing.
I'm ready for the next.
Yeah.
And then going into more recent times, one of the biggest artists that really affected me was Rick Ross. Ross, oh man, yeah, because he's a boss. When he hops on a track, you know he's there. He commands presence.
It took me a while to listen to Ross. I was like, I don't know. I think the reason why it took me a while is like I'm one of those, man. I'm not gonna jump on everything because everybody else is jumping on it, bro.
Yeah.
So it took me a while to get into it.
You gotta let it build up.
Then I listened to it. So I can say I was a late bloomer.
I'll say I was the same way with Tyler the Creator.
Oh, Tyler.
You know, with the Yonkers track, that track was bananas, and the effect it had on the world because he was on there eating cockroaches and shit.
Yeah.
He was being himself,
But he was being himself. He was an individual, and at that point in time in rap, I'm just gonna keep it real. If you weren't trapping or blood, you wasn't making music.
Yeah.
So when he dropped that kicked off a whole new genre of rap. That kicked off like backpackers all over again.
No.
People that were listening to lyrics, not just looking for who's the hardest.
I feel like it just pushed it even further because I feel like Tyler the Creator's rap was Eminem's, but no one accepted Eminem. Now you got Tyler the Creator coming out with it. It's a new era. It's like you know what?
I can say that. I'll say this.
And before it was, before it was Tyler the Creator, it was really, I felt like Hopsin.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Hopsin.
That's true.
But even when you look at it time-wise, Hopsin and Tyler the Creator kind of popped off at the same time, but they were both influenced by Eminem. You know what I'm saying? And it was because Eminem at that point in time was the only prominent rapper still, other than Kanye, that wasn't necessarily a gangster.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Eminem was who he is.
Yeah.
He was who he was gonna be.
He was crazy.
He was crazy. Kanye at that time was the pretty boy. He's not necessarily a pretty boy anymore, but back then he was literally in his pink polo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Louis Vuitton backpacks, babe shoes, Louis shoes. Yeah, I got 2 pink polos in my closet right now.
So you got a pink polo?
I got the pink one with the green ones.
That Kanye effect was real back then.
Yeah, and then it was Cameron too with the pink.
To be fair, he's a champion.
Glasses, Kanye.
He's a Cameron.
Okay.
Yeah, it's my biggest influence, bro.
Okay.
Cam was nice, man. Cam was
Cam
nice.
is my biggest
I still jam Cam. Real talk.
Since I asked that influence question, I'm actually wondering what was your influence? Like, what got you to listen to hip hop? Like, who the artists you listen to? I want to ask. I want to hear.
When I was young, I mean, look, for me, if people don't know, I am from the Bay Area, Richmond, California, which is 20 minutes away. Well, I'll say 10 minutes away from Oakland. So, you know, I grew up with E40, Too Short, Mac Dre.
Yeah, powerful.
You know, and also there's another local rapper called Sin, which is he's from Richmond. A lot of people don't know him unless you're from there, but those artists like told a story to me like that I could relate to because of when I was growing up, and that's what got me into hip hop. Once I got to them, then I started listening to the Fabulous, to the Jay-Z. And then also Dom Kennedy came on. Dom Kennedy actually wanted me, like, when I heard about him, I wanted to rap. Like, real shit. It was Dom Kennedy and then Nipsey Hussle, like the old Nipsey Hussle, the mixtapes. Because Dom Kennedy and Nipsey Hussle did a mixtape together. People don't know about, I mean, unless you're from California, people don't know about that. That mixtape was hot. It was running the summers in LA.
Especially that one song with Carter.
Yeah, Carter from the H, you know what I'm saying? Hey, they used to slap hard together. Dom was definitely a good influence on me for a good time
I can
span.
remember the beat now. It's like doom 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 doom.
And Casey Benji was on that too. It was CDC. It's called CDC.
Yeah, bro, that was nasty.
Because it stood for Casey, Dom, and Carter.
Yeah, that was
man.
nasty. That was nasty.
Boy, oh yeah, good memories.
For me, I would say I remember being real young. I don't know how old I was. But I remember riding in the backseat of the car with my dad and listening to the song "Wanna Be a Baller." When I heard that song, it was just it for me. I just wanted to be a baller, and then just getting introduced to all when the rest of the Houston rappers started popping off mainstream.
Yeah.
And then around that time, moving to Louisiana, you know.
Weezy!
Exactly. Falling in love with that flow.
Yeah.
All those mixtapes, all those albums coming out.
And nobody that listens to rap says Lil Wayne didn't run your iPod, your Zoom back in the day.
iPod Nanos.
He was on it. If you didn't have at least one Lil Wayne song, it was because he had hip hop
every feature.
Every feature. It was him, T-Pain, Future.
Yeah.
That was just me right there.
They ran hip hop
Growing up
for a
listening to
minute.
that just changed my life.
See, my auntie, when I moved to Guam, she fucked up. She gave me Eminem's album.
I can say that.
that was my first hip hop artist I heard, and I was just like, oh shit. You know, I had a dark mind. I still do, but it was like Kim. When I heard Kim, I was a fan. I was a rap. I was like, oh shit, he evil.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my Eminem was my influence, and I heard Pac, and then Biggie, and then from there it was history. Like I got sucked into this hip hop game. It was cool.
Okay, legit.
I tried to rap, but
I heard the Biggie part. I just didn't want to put that in there because everybody does it. So
no, but I mean, it's
like this is the biggest influence in hip hop.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah.
And then the reason why I listened to Biggie was because my dad's from Virginia, So I was like East Coast, you know, New York. Rap was big in the 90s, so.
Yeah,
because it was Nas next, and then the Clips.
Oh, my God. The Clips are my favorite rap group of all time, period. Oh, DMV Love, what up?
That was.
Clips are nice.
Yeah, man.
Nice.
That's why I was so happy when Pusha clapped at Drake. I was like, oh my God. I was like, finally, finally somebody's giving this beige nigga a run for his money. I was like, yo. Because I mean, don't get me wrong, Drake is an amazing artist. He'll probably go down as the GOAT, if not one of the GOATs, you know what I'm saying? But at up until this year, nobody really gave Drake a run for his money.
Yeah, we talked about that last night.
Yeah.
Because we're like, some of us agree, like, man, Prince, Junior Prince,
Jay Prince,
yeah,
yeah.
Jay Prince.
Junior Prince.
I'm so sorry.
You good? You better get that right.
Hey, sorry.
Bro, you don't get it right, you might shut this shit down.
Right now, episode 1. But we're talking about it, but we said that he had a lot to do with it. I feel like he never had a song to come back. I feel like Drake never had something to come back.
Now, I actually did that. Jay Prince actually told him not to put it out.
I mean, Jay Prince did go on record saying he told him that. But my personal opinion,
He didn't have shit.
I don't feel like he had anything that could counteract that.
Because it was all, because the beef started with Kanye, so you had Emma for Kanye, but you never expected Pusha T to come in this bitch, and you're just like,
But it's because Drake disrespected his wife.
Yeah.
He came at his wife.
Fiance.
Yeah, at the time it was his fiance.
It's time, but
you
you don't do that, bro.
Yeah, I know.
Look what happens. He woke up the beast.
Yeah. Because the thing about it is, what a lot of cats don't understand, like, coming out of the DMV, because I lived out there for a minute too. I lived out in Maryland for a good minute. But coming out of the DMV, anybody that knows, anything about the Clips from the Re-Up gang, all that, they give 0 Fs, bro. I'm not gonna drop F-bombs on here like that, but they give 0 Fs, bro.
Oh, you can, it's not.
That's bad. They give 0 fucks. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they give 0 fucks, bro.
Yeah.
So even Malice, his older brother, Malice went at his own brother a couple years back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if you have 2 brothers that are willing to go at each other, and they've never had a cosign by anybody. Never have they had a cosign by anybody. Never have the Clips had anybody in their corner. Don't get me wrong, Pharrell was their producer and label, manager for a minute, but that was business. It was never on a point where they had, street cred with somebody else. Like a lot of times when you see a lot of these other rappers, they link up with other hood dudes and they, oh, this my brother, this my nigga, even though you met that nigga last year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like real talk. But because they identify with some shit, they co-sign each other.
Yeah.
The Clips never had that. The Clips never wanted that.
Yeah.
The Clips came out and was just like, yo, I'm grinding. You know what I'm saying? Literally.
That's what it is.
Lord Willin', that album is called Lord Willin'. That still is on my phone to this day, and I listen to it every single day. Every day.
Probably one of my favorite albums.
Literally. That was literally one of my ghetto gospels, you know what I'm saying? Because they have a little bit of everything on there.
I listen to it when I come across it again.
Yeah.
There's so much music now.
There is a lot of music. We're definitely
I'm
doing
gonna
it.
check that
When you
out.
feel hood, like that's when you go,
I ain't gonna lie. When I first heard the Clips, it was like with Birdman.
Yeah.
Oh, you talking about what happened to that boy?
Yeah, what happened?
And they smashed that. Oh my God.
That whole is nice.
That note, tell everybody where you can find your music, handling names and all that stuff.
Man, look, search me up, Brian Kidd. BRIAN space KIDD. I like everything double. So if you're looking for me everywhere, you can find me on Spotify, Tidal, Google Music, or Google Play, whatever that is, Apple Music, iTunes, all of that, SoundCloud. Look me up, Brian Kidd, okay? If you're looking for me on Instagram, it's @HardheadKid. And don't forget to add them 2 D's at the end, all right? Twitter is @HardheadKid. Snapchat, Southern Lights K, all that, you know what I'm saying? Holla at me. Bada boom, bada bing.
Next time when we come on, maybe you have a music video for us.
Oh, big facts, baby.
Keep a lookout on the music videos coming soon.
Yeah.
Real talk.
Coming soon.
Next time we're gonna talk about Houston artists. That's all coming up. So, but for now, we'll see you next time, guys.
Peace.